bug-type Pokemon have a reputation for being kinda bad. However, Volcarona, Scizor, Lokix, and U-Turn prove that it is possible to transcend the inherent problems of the insect order to dominate a metagame. But banish those bug Pokemon from your brilliant brains. Today, we're looking for a different kind of bug. The very best of the very worst. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there are 17 battle-ready baby bug types, but only one can be the best. Place your bets now, maybe in the comments, and hold on to your hats, because to find a tier where any of these creatures are even viable, we'll have to descend to a land where angels fare to tread. Can there really be a place for Pokemon as terrible as Sewaddle and Caterpie? Well, certainly not in the standard tiers. OU is way beyond our power level, and we're not even going to think about Ubers. And even if we go all the way down to PU, we'll still be facing monsters like Cramorant and Mudsdale, which will destroy our baby bugs and take their lunch money and ruin their reputation. But this is exactly what Little Cup is for. A tier where the only legal Pokemon are babies sounds perfect. Only problem is, none of our 17 contenders are ranked B or higher on the LC viability rankings. No, to do this properly, we need to dig even deeper. Below Little Cup is Little Cup UU, and below that, the unhallowed tier of Do Not Use. This is a land where all Pokemon with more than 280 BST are refused entry, meaning Ekans and Chingling are banned for being too powerful. Here, the S-tier threats are Budew, Knackley, and Jigglypuff. Some of our baby bugs call this tier home, and others cannot pass even this barest minimum of bars. Combee, Sewaddle, Scatterbug, Rellor, Venonat, Snom, Kricketot, and Grubbin are so bad that even here, in the deepest recesses of the tiering system, they are still unusable. Alas, these 8 miserable creatures will never see even a shred of viability. That leaves us with 9 baby bugs that have some niche somewhere. Let's go through them from worst to best, starting with the denizens of Do Not Use. Pineco, Cutiefly, Joltik, and Lavista are too strong for Do Not Use. They would break the metagame, they're not welcome. Of the 5 remaining bugs, 2 of them are actually usable higher up in the tiering system, which leaves us with 3 bugs that call Do Not Use home. In 9th place, taking the crown as the worst possible bug type that still technically has a niche, we have Tarantula. With an impenetrable 45 defense and 40 SPDF, Tarantula can withstand any hit from a level 1 Pokemon. And with a colossal 41 base attack, Tarantula can deal dozens of hit points of damage to a level 1 Pokemon. But there's an even stronger spider. That's right, it's our number 8 bug, Spinarak. Spinarak is what you get when you take Tarantula, give it a secondary poison typing, and crank its BST up by 40. I mean, look at that attack stat. Spinarak hits like a sledgehammer wielded by a bull. Now, okay, neither of these bugs look good or usable or useful in any way. So, why are Spinarak and Tarantula good? It's all because of the move Sticky Web. Sticky Web is an entry hazard that lowers the speed of any Pokemon that switches in, and it gives rise to an entire team archetype that aims to web the enemy down and then overwhelm them with middling speed offensive threats. These 2 baby spiders are just there to lay the webs and then croak, but that's enough to earn them their spot on this list. In 7th place, we have Surskit. Like the previous 2, Surskit is also a sticky web setter, but there are 2 major differences that set it apart. The first is speed. Tarantula and Spinarak can be taken advantage of by faster leads. They can be taunted, they can be disrupted, but Surskit is much quicker and can get those sticky webs out before the opponent can react. The other thing about Surskit is that it's a water strider rather than a spider, which means it gets a secondary water typing. Water is one of the best dual type options for bug, greatly improving Surskit's defenses compared with its competition. Nice work, little guy. And so, only 6 candidate bugs remain. Let's have a look now at the denizens of Little Cup UU, starting with Pineco. Now, I promise your eyes are not deceiving you, Pineco really does have that absurd base 90 defense. This is the highest individual stat you're going to see in this whole video, and the sheer amount of physical bulk that Pineco brings to the table makes physical attackers wish they had never been born. Pineco is let down by its poor special defense and abysmal speed, but these stats still let it work as a niche but decent, has it set a lead. Pineco wants to hold either an Eviolite for extra bulk or a Custap Berry. Custap Berry synergizes nicely with Sturdy, ensuring that any attack that would vaporize Pineco instead leaves it with 1 HP and priority on its next attack. The typical play pattern is just click an entry hazard, be that Stealth Rock, Spikes, or Toxic Spikes, activate Custap Berry, and then explode. It's a pretty one-dimensional Pokemon, but the one thing that it does alright, and that's enough to make it the 6th best baby bug. Next, in 5th place, we have Dewpider. Don't let the mediocre stats deceive you. Just like its father Araquanid, Dewpider gets its strength from its ability Water Bubble, which doubles the damage of all of its water-type moves and gives it an immunity to burn. In a world of frail, coughing babies, Dewpider's Stab Water Bubble boosted Hydro Pump is the Hydrogen Bomb. Dewpider does have pretty limited utility because it doesn't get Sticky Web until it evolves, but if you're looking for water-type damage, then Dewpider is your best friend. Of the 4 remaining candidates, 3 are very niche picks in Little Cup proper, and the 4th is banned for being too powerful for the tier. But before we find out which of these 4 candidates is truly the bona fide best, we have a couple of honourable mentions. The keen-eyed among you will have noticed 2 suspicious exemptions from my list of baby bugs. I made the executive decision to exclude Scyther and Yanma. The difference between these two and the other bugs is that in the generation where they were introduced, they weren't baby bugs. Their base stat totals are significantly higher than a typical pre-evolution Pokemon. Looking at the chart, you can see Yanma is not that much higher than Larvesta, but it is higher than Larvesta. And then Scyther is in a world of its own with 500 BST, which is stronger than many fully evolved Pokemon. So, from a pure strength perspective, Yanma and Scyther are just starting from a much stronger point. The other reason that I've excluded them is aesthetics. If you look at the baby bugs that we have on display, they all share a certain cute round charisma. You know, they just look like funny little guys. They're all kind of there chilling. They're all kind of wonderful and they're round and they got big eyes and they're all cute and happy. And then you look at Scyther and Yanma and they've got their full adult wings. They've got all 4 wings. They've got their full body development. They've got their head, thorax, abdomen divide. I just think that those don't look like baby bugs to me. They look like adult bugs. And if you look at their evolutions, neither of their evolutions are like just an older, like an adult form of them. Scizor is Scyther after he fell in a vat of metallic juice. And Yanmega is prehistoric Yanma, because it evolves when it learns ancient power, and it's like its ancient form. Neither of them, I think, aesthetically qualify to be baby bugs. And also, they would break the system because they're so strong. Now, that's my rationale, but you're more than welcome to disagree with me. If you think that Scyther and Yanma should be included, let me know in the comments. And I can tell you right now that if they were, the answer to the question of this video would be Scyther, and it wouldn't be close at all. Scyther is better than most fully evolved bug Pokemon. It's really good. It's got a niche in NU, which is way, way beyond anything we're going to be talking about in this video. So, if you think Scyther should qualify, then Scyther's the best baby bug. Congratulations. But I don't think so, so we have more to discuss. Let's head to Little Cup itself. Our 4th best baby bug is Joltik. Now, Joltik is kind of similar to Dewpider in that it doesn't have very good utility moves. It doesn't have Sticky Web, so it's stuck kind of clicking strong special offense moves and then Thunder Wave. But it's quite happy to do that. It likes a Choice Scarf, it likes Heavy Duty Boots. Its stats are certainly higher. I mean, it's got 109 base stats more than Tarantula, but they're pretty evenly distributed. Nothing really stands out. It does share with Galvantula the pretty unique ability to click Compoundized Thunder. It's not very good in Little Cup, it's ranked D, but it is on the viability rankings, unlike the earlier bugs on this tier list. And then, somehow, with a BST of 210, just like Tarantula, the 3rd best baby bug is Nimble. And Nimble is really outperforming its inherent properties here, because Nimble has only 10 more BST than Magikarp. Magikarp has 200, Nimble has 210. It's barely stronger than Magikarp, and it's the 3rd best baby bug. The Pokemon with the lowest BST in the entire game is Sunkern, and that has 180. So Nimble only has 30 more than the lowest possible. And yet, it's pretty good. It's good. It's good in UU, and the reason is exactly the same reason as Low Kicks. Tinted Lens plus First Impression. Bug-type moves are notorious for having the worst offensive profile in the game. They are resisted by 7 other types, which means they are incredibly unreliable as offensive attackers without a secondary stab option. However, Tinted Lens turns not very effective attacks into normally effective attacks, which means Nimble goes from being really easy to wall to really difficult, and for that reason, it's the 3rd best baby bug. What an underdog story. Only 2 baby bugs remain. The runner-up is Larvesta. For a first stage Pokemon, Larvesta has really good base stats. Probably because it evolves so late into the game. If you're using Larvesta on your team and you have level 55 Pokemon and you're still running with Larvesta, you're going to need it to do mildly something, even if that something isn't very good. So it's pretty quick. Bulk is fine. Bulk is even pretty good for these Pokemon. And then the attack is great. It does a lot of damage. It has 2 great utility moves, Will-O-Wisp and Morning Sun, which combine with Flame Body to give it quite a lot of longevity throughout the game, as long as your opponent doesn't have Stealth Rocks up. It gets U-Turn and Flare Blitz for stab, and it can just come in, do some damage, switch out. It's just a reliable guy, which means there is only one bug left. The bug that is banned. The best baby bug is Cutiefly. That's right, folks. Cutiefly takes the crown. Now, what the heck? It's a Cutiefly, right? It looks like it should have a pathetic life and no hopes and dreams. But there is one property of Cutiefly that pushes it over the edge into being amazing. Of all the baby bugs in Scarlet and Violet, Cutiefly is the only one that learns Quiver Dance. Other baby bugs like Venonat can learn Quiver Dance after they evolve, but Cutiefly learns it as a baby. And Quiver Dance is an incredible move. It raises your special attack, special defense, and speed by 1 stage. It's like Calm Mind that also gives you speed. And alongside Cutiefly's really nice secondary typing in Fairy, decent stats with really good speed, and really good coverage move pool, Quiver Dance is just too much. Moreover, Cutiefly also gets Sticky Web, so your opponent is going to have to figure out whether you're running a lead Sticky Web set or a setup Quiver Dance set, or both at the same time. There just aren't enough tools in Little Cup to take Cutiefly out. So there you have it. The greatest baby bug of all is Cutiefly. Which brings us to the final point of the video. Do we need to free Cutiefly? So Cutiefly was banned the moment it came out in Generation 9. It was released in the first wave of DLC and never allowed into Little Cup. Now, I'm not a massive Little Cup player. I've crafted this video mostly through reading old Smogon forum posts and reading the Little Cup Discord and running the stats. So I don't have a strong take on this. But maybe you do, and I'd be really interested if any of you play Little Cup to hear your thoughts. From my readings of the Little Cup Discord, there is an ongoing argument as to whether Cutiefly should be released back into Little Cup at long last. There are good reasons not to free Cutiefly. It terrorized Sword and Shield when it was legal, but there is a growing movement that says, well, why not just ban Quiver Dance, ban the move, right? We ban moves sometimes, and then allow Cutiefly to come back in but without Quiver Dance. This is going to run into a similar problem as Houndstone ran into in OU back in the day, where because Cutiefly is the only Pokemon that learns Quiver Dance, maybe it's like a complex ban or something. I don't know what the Little Cup tiering system thinks about that whole can of worms. If you play Little Cup or you're interested in it, do you think we should free Cutiefly? Do you think that Cutiefly maybe without Quiver Dance would be a good addition to the current Little Cup meta? I think we should free Cutiefly, but I'm speaking from a position of ignorance. I think that if you are a Little Cup veteran and you've got that 1,000-yard stare going on where you're like, no, please, not Cutiefly, not again, then let me know in the comments and I'll change my opinion to say that Cutiefly should be kept locked up until the sun explodes in the sky. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Cutiefly is your best baby bug. Subscribe for more videos like this. We're almost at 1,000, which is absolutely crazy. I'm going to actually be able to monetize the channel, I think. I'm like 3/4 of the way there on subs and on watch hours. So yeah, I might actually get some pocket money for doing this, which would be nice, but it's not why I'm making them. I'm paid off by Big Wasp in my personal life to look at wasps. So money's not the primary concern, but it is fun. I mean, I appreciate all the support. And it's fun making these videos. I will be back for more, and I hope you enjoyed. See ya!